All right, guys. I really have not updated anything on this car as far as giving out details of what it's been through lately. And this has been something that's happened a long time ago. Um, this setup used to be a 331 with a DSS Pro assembly with a Mexican block and trick flow high port heads and the trick flow Holly Stamax intake. And then this same exact stage 2 hybrid stage 3 single turbo kit. Um, oh man, it's been a couple years, at least maybe 3 or 4 years ago, that I'm thinking that I always had it in the back of my head. If I split this block and put my car into a wall or into something and end up tearing up my car, I'll be so mad at myself for not putting out that money for the better block. So I ended up getting a dart block. This ain't the Iron Eagle. This is one version down from it. I forget what it is. It's the one that has, I think, like four bolt mains on four of them, and then two on the front and the back. Um, so ended up going to a big bore short stroke 363. So it's basically like a 331, but because of the extra bore on it, it brings it to a 363. Um, Other changes. Whenever the heads were off, we had Jeff at, boy, what's his name? I forget his name. He was a big head guy over here in Detroit area who passed away a couple years back. So rest yourself. We had him CNC the heads. Paul brought it up there and had them do it. Paul, who I don't believe is any longer building engines, did the short block, did the heads. Um, I had probably 200 miles on the car, and I changed something in the tune with a Holley EFI, all with the map sensor change. And I was pulling way too much timing and didn't realize it. By the time I was hearing the detonation, I was starting to hear a little bit of a knock and just a little baby tick. I thought it'd been a push rod. So I went through all of my push rods, ended up changing out the intake since I had that off. Um, Nope, no push rods. Everything was good. Started back up. That little tick was getting a little bit louder, a little bit deeper. Ended up draining the oil. Found a little bit of brass from a bearing in the oil. So I was like, gosh darn it, you gotta be kidding me. Tore the whole engine apart, put new bearings in, and it's been back together happy ever since. Now that part I did myself. I'm capable of building engines, but when you got a buddy that builds them all day long, you take advantage of that. Um, Changes I made. I did have a CSI electric water pump on. I put the mechanical back on, which I think was almost a step backwards. The car did cool better with the electrical pump compared to this mechanical one. I was trying to go for that simplicity. I was always worried about, blowing a fuse or something going wrong with the electrical for the pump and messing up my engine. So, I don't know. Still don't like it. I did put power steering back on the car. When I had the 331, it was more set up for a tiny bit more drag than street. Had the C4 transmission, the 15-inch drag lights, all that kind of stuff. So I put the power steering back on because, honestly, I really like my power steering. So I put that back on, threw some 18-inch Celine rims on here, and now the car is more of a street car than a strip car. And I actually have not taken it back to the strip since I had this combination change, which the best I did with the old combo was a 950 something at 145. So the I'm curious to see what might happen if I go back. It changes and changes. It might still run about the same. I took out the C4, put in a 4R70W with an AODE gearbox in it, or gears. And the trans shift's okay, but not as hard as it was with the C4. Plus the C4 had a trans brake, so whatever. Um, when I did do the engine change, I did the Holley EFI conversion. I have the HP set up. Love it, love it, love it, love it. It is by far my favorite EFI setup. Just something with it. and me clicks and being able to have the resources to help me whenever I need a question answered, that always comes in helpful also. I think I did go from a stage 2 to a stage 3 intercooler also whenever I did the conversion. The one thing that might be hurting me back is the 1 5/8 primaries. So I still have 1 5/8 primaries, a 2.5 inch crossover, but I do have the 3.5 inch down pipe and the 3 inch coal side piping. Um, I went from 60-pound injectors up to 72s. I still could go probably bigger, but I do have an A1000 pump on there, and I'm sure I'd probably get close to maxing that out before I'd max injectors, so I don't know. But this is it. I can't show you the rest of the car all that much because it is in storage right now, so there's boxes and pipes and boxes and everything still over here. That's it. Just wanted to give you guys an actual official update on the yellow notch.